This man just accidentally dropped a few eggs. In the next second, you can see the egg liquid solidifying rapidly. Then the ground in the distance continued to collapse. Countless magma gushes out from the ground. He was so frightened that he immediately got into the car. Then he stepped on the door and rushed out violently. But the heat wave instantly formed a tornado. At this time, not only did the ground crack on both sides, the building next to it even collapsed in the dormitory room. That scene was like the end of the world. After Azu struggled to escape and ascend to heaven, I saw the whole city in flames. And at the same moment, troops near Hot Desert Town discovered a city of ice and snow. Wait until they get closer and see. Everything here is in jeopardy. All the residents of the city were frozen into ice sculptures. His arm was broken with just the slightest touch. So obviously there was a sudden drop in temperature here. So in order to deal with various disasters that happen to the Earth, scientists from various countries have jointly developed, eventually a product named Dutch Boys Space Station. It can launch atmospheric satellites around the world, and control the environment below through satellites, thus saving all mankind. The result was just a few years later. As the chief scientist, Jack was taken to court by the federal government. The reason is that he has the highest control over the Dutch boy, so I had no choice but to fire him. Although Jack argued hard, but in the face of power, he had no choice but to compromise. However, sometime after he was expelled, on this day during the satellite recovery process, the operation cabin was suddenly shut down by the system. Immediately afterwards the maintenance man was sucked into space, because the satellite was not replaced in time. So there were all the disasters at the beginning. Max has no choice but to find Jack again, and beg the other party to be reinstated, although Jack didn't agree at first. But when I think about the Dutch boy, it's my life's work. Jack finally boarded the spaceship, and successfully arrived at the space station. However, the repair process is extremely difficult. Just when the operator was disassembling the hard drive as usual, the mechanical arm suddenly lost control. Although everyone responded promptly, no one was injured, but the satellite exploded on the spot. All data and circuit boards were reduced to ashes. And not only that, just when Jack was about to recover the fallen hatch, his space suit suddenly went out of control. The huge impact instantly stunned him, since air has no resistance in a vacuum state, so he can only keep rubbing on the spaceship. Seeing that Jack is about to be thrown into space, fortunately, he caught a rope at the critical moment. Only then can we return to the base without any danger. And he also secretly got the hard drive in the hatch. But just when colleagues arrived, Jack hid the fact about the hard drive, because he suspected there was something fishy in the space station, although I can't confirm it yet. But when he saw the information stored on the hard drive, even if it is confirmed that there must be a traitor among them, because the door system did not malfunction, so it's obvious that someone deliberately wanted to kill himself. So he immediately contacted Max on Earth. Because of fear of being monitored by traitors, he communicates in a language that only belongs to the two of them. Although at first Max thought he had lost his finger, but until the last sentence key, Max finally realized what his brother wanted to express. He immediately found his most trusted subordinates, then re-edit through segmentation. Only then did I learn that the bad guys were high-level officials of the government. Max immediately found his girlfriend Sarah, because she's part of a federal organization, so her account can access the government back-end. Only then did everyone learn about the other party's madness. They actually used satellites to attack designated cities, then disguise it as a system failure. Everything on the space station before was paving the way for this. So he immediately contacted Jack. To stop the other party's evil plan, they must stop the Dutch South China Sea. But this requires the ultimate key of the system. The password is now in the hands of the president, although this is an impossible task. But Max can only try his best. At this time, the space station experienced system chaos again. All solar panels are spreading around, accompanied by hail in Tokyo. Countless buildings and civilians were smashed into pieces. Even the extremely hot Arabian desert. It actually turned into a vast ocean in the bedroom. To avoid further injury to innocent people, Max must get the key immediately. So he found his girlfriend Sarah again. After understanding the seriousness of the matter, Sarah immediately fired 2 shots into the air, and used the attack as an excuse to cause chaos at the scene. Wait for security to escort the president to the safe passage. With one swing of his fist, he knocked out the bald man behind him, then take it to the underground garage. And Max has been waiting here for a long time. As soon as they started, they were intercepted by security guards. Fortunately, Sarah's driving skills are excellent. One step on the accelerator broke through numerous obstacles. However, at this time, the space station was completely out of control. Not only did the cabin explode frequently, It also caused disasters all over the world. Seeing the whole city surrounded by lightning, the president finally realized that there was a traitor within. Sure enough, just before they left. Then the venue where I was just now suddenly exploded. The only solution now. It is necessary to send him to the headquarters as soon as possible, then use the key to restart the Dutch South China Sea. Although Sarah immediately hid under the bridge, but he was still discovered by the pursuers from behind. He had no choice but to drive the car left and right. Then he turned the steering wheel hard and turned the car upside down. 3 consecutive shots will completely end the battle. After the fight, he didn't forget to turn the car around again. I thought I had finally escaped capture now. Unexpectedly, the real mastermind behind the scenes has been waiting for a long time. He actually used a howitzer to completely destroy the car. Looking at the rolling car frame in front of me, Mediterranean thought it could finally take over. As a result, Sarah hit her head in the next second. It turns out that this was all part of Max's plan. Then they came to the control room and uploaded the ultimate key that can restart the device. But at this time, the space station has been completely paralyzed. The hot desert was swallowed by the sea. Humans are like ants in front of nature. The whole city has become a vast ocean in the bedroom. At this time, the space station still has 5 minutes to self-destruct. Jack can only run for his life. He must enter the restart command before the explosion. Although we finally reached the control room successfully, but the hatch shows that the password is invalid. Just when Jack fell into despair, the captain from behind suddenly appeared. It turns out he didn't escape in an escape capsule. The captain is then responsible for shutting down the confinement satellite. Jack pulled the reset button at the last second. All satellites were shut down in an instant. The changed environment also returns to normal, although the Earth's crisis has been completely resolved. But the space station is completely paralyzed at this moment. The extremely huge mechanical monster turned into ashes in the guest room. But just when everyone thought they had died, observers saw a distress signal deep in space. It turns out that Jack hid in the satellite at the last moment. In the end they were rescued by an incoming spaceship. And Jack also became the hero who saved the world in one fell swoop.